Reddit stories by Miss_. AITA for kicking my brother and his family out after his son stole my engagement ring? The reason I, 26M, know is because I literally caught him in my room going through my things. And it's on freaking camera. My nephew is 9 and has a habit of stealing things. They've gotten in trouble a few times at stores because he'd leave with something in his pockets. But OFC, because he's a kid, they usually just say he forgot he had it. Even at school my brother has told me they have had to come talk to the principal a couple occasions. Doesn't seem like they've done anything to stop it. They had to come stay here with me because my brother lost his job and they weren't gonna make it with all their bills including rent. He's doing Uber RN while he searches for a job and they can move out. I didn't want to because of my nephew specifically, but family is family, I guess. A month ago I finally bought an engagement ring for my girlfriend that I was planning on proposing to soon, but now I don't know. It's a $4,000 ring that I spent over a year saving up for. It's been hidden in my room under one of my drawers. One time when I found him snooping in my room, I told my brother to control his damn kid, then got one of those cheap spy cams in my room just in case. Then last week I noticed it was out of its box. After checking the cam it showed he was in there again when I wasn't home. My brother and his wife have yelled at him. He says he left it by the TV in the guest room, but it's not there. They looked through all their stuff and his too. I know for a fact he's lying about not having it because that's the same thing he said about one of my watches he took, then ended up finding it. By the second day my brother tells me they can't find it at all. And I told him either they find the ring or he repays me the $4,000 I spent on it, if not they can't stay here anymore. My brother got really upset. He told me I know how their situation is right now, and yet it's a tough spot, but I couldn't ignore the fact that his kid he can't parent took something extremely important to me that costed a lot of time and money. They were given a week to leave my house if they don't find the ring. They're having to stay at a cheap motel, but my brother won't stop begging to come back because what they're paying right now each night is coming directly out of their savings. He won't stop calling me heartless about letting something like this come between helping them out through a difficult time, and my nephew keeps saying he's sorry. It's just hard right now to want them around. Don't even know what to do about the ring, and every time I think about it it just makes me so mad that it's hard to care about their situation. Does that make me in a hole? Let's read some comments. Molly_Menace says, okay, I want to make a couple of suggestions. The first is to use a metal detector in and around your house and yard. The second is, if his parents really haven't sold it, think about where you might hide something if you were a kid. Somewhere that seems like a permanent and safe hiding space, especially if he knew he was moving and wouldn't be able to take it on him. As a kid, I always felt like the backyard was a permanent space. Look under bricks that can be moved, or in any trees. The third thing I was thinking. Make a report with the police. If it's possible to scare him into talking, it will. If you and he need other resources, they may be able to point you in the right direction. His parents are responsible for him. You can't just let a year's worth of savings go. Even if they can't pay it back right away. They might say, but we're family, let it go, but equally, family wouldn't want you to lose a year's worth of your savings, and to have had such a monumental milestone for you ruined. ETA, think about what a permanent disposal place would be for a kid, as well. Drains. Sinks. Out a window. Bins. Also think about things like pockets on clothing in wardrobes. ETA, I really wish we could all go and help up look. Another suggestion, do you have floorboards? Exfamilia says. The police won't find it if he can't. It would probably mean the end of their relationship as brothers forever. Kicking them out was fair, though. Sounds like they've never given the kid real consequences for his thievery. Well, now the consequences have fallen on them. Perhaps this will motivate them to start showing the little beast what happens when you steal nothing good. I imagine there's a lot of shouting going on in that motel room. As for the but faa Amelie, and in dire straits argument. I note the brother complained he had to pay the motel bills from his savings. So Op is not making that family homeless, he's just making them face the consequences of not having taught their son to steal. And we all know, if he let them back in, the kid would steal more. A $4,000 engagement ring is no trivial loss, he needs to do everything he can to get it back. But the cops won't get it back. I can't see how involving them will help in any way. Ops update. So many of you have asked non-stop for an update. Sorry it took me a while to log back on, but lots of stuff have been going on. Yes, I found the ring. It was a stressful day doing a deeper search in my house, trying to think like my nephew and looking in places where I think he'd hide something if he really didn't want it to be found. And the decision was, if it really wasn't found and my brother wasn't able to get him to talk, or they wouldn't be able to pay back what I'm owed, then the police would get involved. He did beg me not to, but I told him, then you better pray I find it or you come up with the money to pay me for it. Guess both our prayers worked, because guess where I found it? In the freaking sink. The sink. And that's thanks to the comments who told me to look in those places. I don't know what I would have done otherwise. It was the sink that was in their guest room. I'm glad he didn't just throw it away. You guys don't know how freaking relieved I was to find it. Took some work to remove the P-trap under the sink to get it out, but I was just so happy to find it. Same night my girlfriend, fiancé, got back, I proposed to her and she said yes. After a nice romantic dinner, just the two of us at home. The plan was to wait, but after all this, F it, I'm proposing ASAP before anything else happens. After my brother heard about me finding the ring, he thought this meant they could come back. I said no. He wanted to argue about this again. All I told him was he's lucky I haven't gone to the cops, since there was already video evidence of his son taking the ring, and there's no way I'm letting them back in when my nephew wouldn't even say what he did with the ring. I talked with my nephew myself after I found the ring, but he just said he didn't want to tell anyone because then I'd be mad at him for hiding it. Honestly, I just don't have the energy for them anymore. His problem is their problem, and hopefully they get him help before it's too late. Only thing important to me is my fiancé and I starting our lives and planning our wedding. Thank you Reddit for your help. Seriously, you guys were my lifesavers. Comments on Ops edit. Yogurt Firm says, the fact that the kid refused to tell you where it was and his parents refused to make him means you are absolutely in the right and would be crazy to let them back in. Little brat is going to end up in prison if his parents don't wake up. Ecclestasade says, just want to give you a little hope and a little warning. I was that kid. Turns out I'm basically missing the empathy chip that humans are meant to come with. I still struggle because it's not natural to me, but I know right and wrong. The difference was I had to be taught from the absolute basics. I understand people's feelings, but I don't feel for them. I'm just physically unable of doing that. I'm 27, I know right from wrong, I have friends, I have a good relationship with my family, but it's always going to be a struggle because it's a case of constantly reminding myself that other people's feelings matter. I've been through therapy for many issues. Unfortunately, since I'm a woman, they won't actually address this issue. They genuinely can't believe a woman doesn't have empathy. They've tried to claim I must be autistic, despite being tested for over 2 decades and never coming up with anything. If I'd been treated as a child, maybe things would be different. All you can do as a parent is push for whatever help you can get, the rest is in the hands of the professionals. My mother pushed from me being an infant for various issues and was ignored. She feels guilty she didn't do more. She did everything she could. You're doing the best you can, and that makes so much of a difference to the child when they're grown. I feel betrayed by doctors, psychologists, psychiatrists, counselors, you name it. But my mother was always in my corner, and that's probably one of the main reasons I'm still here. I had one person that was in my corner that I knew was doing their best. Ops edit to add, I just received this news after already submitting my post for approval and just wanted to add because I'm so happy. but girlfriend also informed me she's pregnant. She found out while she was on her trip and was waiting for a good time to tell me. Not related to the post but IDC, I'm gonna be a dad.